Alright, what's up you guys? I'm here with the WWE Night of Champions pay-per-view DVD collection. First off, two shout-outs real quick. WWE Fans 13 and Josh Summers. Go check them out. Two up-and-coming channels. Comments on my videos quite frequently, so go find them. Go check them out. Alright, so here we have Night of Champions. I decided I'm just going to do Night of Champions branded. I've done this Vengeance Night of Champions review. I've gone over it twice now. So I figured I would just leave that one out and just do the Night of Champions pay-per-views themselves. So, first up we have 2008. This is probably my favorite Night of Champions cover. Actually, it used to be a much different cover. We used to have Taker on the front instead of Edge. But yeah, I really like this cover, and I really like this event. We had every title on the line back then. We had Matt Hardy and Chavo Guerrero. You had your tag team titles, both tag titles. The debut of Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase as a tag team. Batista versus Edge for the world title. We had, it's not on here, but Kofi Kingston versus Chris Jericho for Kofi's first title. And then we had Triple H and John Cena, the rematch that was supposed to happen at WrestleMania 23, but never ended up coming about because of another quad injury to Triple H. So they had their rematch here, and pretty good match. I will give it that. And not the finish you expected back then, so very nice. Very good pay-per-view. Alright, then we have 2009. Not a fan of the cover. I think it's kind of generic and just not very visually appealing. But you do have all your champions on there, so that's cool. And then we have, let's see. We had both women's titles. We had the unified tag titles. And then we had Tommy Dreamer versus Christian for the ECW title. Six-pack for the US title match. Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler, once again. Very underrated rivalry. CM Punk and Jeff Hardy for the world title. And then Randy Orton, Triple H versus John Cena. In another WrestleMania rematch featuring John Cena and Triple H. But this time it was the rematch for the WrestleMania 23. Or 24, my god, getting all these mixed up. WrestleMania 24 triple threat match. And this one's probably a little bit better than their first match at Mania. Alright, next up we have all spoiler covers. This is spoiler cover central, Night of Champions. First up, 2010. Very cool cover, I'll give it that. You know, they changed the logo up. Kind of more fancy now, luxurious, prestigious. But we have Randy Orton winning the title there, obviously. And we have Big Show versus CM Punk, non-title match. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan for the US title. Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler. You have a unification lumberjill match for the Divas and Women's title. You have your six-pack challenge for the WWE title. Sheamus, Cena, Orton, Edge, Jericho, and Wade Barrett. And then Kane versus The Undertaker in a no-holds-barred match. Very cool artwork there. I really like that. Alright, 2011. This could possibly be one of my least favorite pay-per-view covers of all time. It's just not very exciting. You know, it looks more like a boxing card, honestly. Which I kind of like that. But at the same time, I just don't think it works. You know, you don't know whether to hate or love this cover. I personally, it's not my forte. I just think it would have been better off. You know, if you're going to do the boxing cover, do it right. Alright, so we had Triple H burying CM Punk. He literally buried him. Mark Henry versus Randy Orton. And then Del Rio versus John Cena for the WWE title. We have all your other title matches there. US title Fatal 4-Way match. Cody Rhodes versus Ted DiBiase for the IC title. And your tag team titles. And there's your discards. Very nice. I'm just not a big fan of the blue, honestly. That's kind of what's bothering me. Alright. 2012. Another spoiler cover with CM Punk here. and Paul Heyman in the background. It's a cool cover. I'll give him that. You know, I say you can do a spoiler cover as long as it's really cool. And as long as it's not like a big 4 pay-per-view or humongous spoilers, you know. But we had Del Rio and Sheamus. We have not much of a match listing here. We have Kane and Daniel Bryan challenge WWE Tag Team Champions Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. Cesaro versus Zack Ryder. Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler. Layla and Eve. And then you had your very good match with CM Punk and John Cena. I mean, have they ever had a bad match, though, honestly? So, yeah. You get some advertisements. Oh, you can give me those, but you can't make inserts anymore. Figures. Alright, 2013. Very cool cover, in my opinion. I love it. It is a spoiler cover, of course. But in a way, it's not really much of a spoiler cover. If you know what I mean. He didn't really have the title very long, so... So yeah, very cool cover though. We had, yeah, now we're getting into the point where it's not really every title on the line anymore. It's just kind of a pay-per-view gimmick at this point. We had Curtis Axel and CM Punk. We have RVD and Del Rio. Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton, which we obviously know who won there. And I really like that disc art, believe it or not. I do like it. Alright, next up, we have very cool cover with this. I always really like this. We have John Cena versus Brock Lesnar in their rematch from Summerslam. I really like it. We have some good covers in recent years. We had Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, Mark Henry and Rusev. We have the Brotherhood, or this was after the Brotherhood, I guess. Just Stardust and Goldust. Huge fan of them. And then we had our rematch, John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Disc art's pretty much the same as your cover artwork. Alright, this is probably one of the greatest pay-per-view covers I've ever seen. I've spoken about this one quite often. This is a beautiful cover. You have Sting, gold in his eye there. You have John Cena. And you have Seth Rollins, who was defending both titles against John Cena and then Sting. And this was Sting's last match, supposedly. I personally don't think, but you never know. You had Kevin Owens and Ryback there. Not much of a match listing here. You had Nikki Bella and Charlotte. Your special features there. Nothing much. I think you had the Dudleys on here. I think this was their first pay-per-view back as well, if I'm correct. So, very nice artwork. Love it. And then finally, we have Clash of Champions, obviously taking over the name from WCW's Clash of Champions. And, you know, have all your champions there. Very cool cover. I do like it. I think it's unique. And this is your first Raw pay-per-view. Yeah, I think this was the first Raw one. Yeah, it was. But very cool cover on the back here. You have no match listing, so... you had Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title. Roman Reigns versus Rusev. TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick, I believe. And then you have, let's see, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. Triple threat match. So, yeah. Then you have New Day there appearing, of course. And there's your disc art. So, Night of Champions... When it comes to DVDs, they're kind of in the middle. You know, the covers are either really good or really bad. We've not had that bad of covers, though. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.